give me 1 second, guys. If you can hear me on stream, just gonna share the stream link round. Just give me 1 second. If you can hear me on stream, just bear with 1 second, guys. There we go, guys. I do apologise about that. We are here then, so yeah, give me 1 sec, guys. Just having a bit of technical difficulties. Just trying to get. Yeah, there we go. Don't need my voice in the background. How are we doing, guys? So yes, guys, welcome to Thursday Night Racing League. Yes, it is the penultimate round of Season 6. Believe it or not, Season 6 is actually here, and well, Season 6 is now drawing to a close very soon, but looking at what's going on, we are at, of course, Misano, or Circuit, I think it's Circuit Misano, I can't remember, it's something or other. It's named after, obviously, MotoGP rider Marco Simoncelli, who sadly lost his life. I can't remember exactly what year. I think it was 2017, but he sadly lost his life, and obviously I think he was from this part of the world, so they named the circuit after him. But yes, we are here for the penultimate round of Thursday Night Racing League for Season 6 here this evening. It has been raced around here before, and if you're wondering who this is and you're wondering who this face is, of course it is the legendary Hoppers. Yes, I am on screen again. Hello, how are you doing, guys? Hope you can hear me well. I hope you guys are looking forward to a beautiful night of racing. I'm looking forward to seeing what the hour and 15-minute race, endurance race, is going to bring, because it's actually the penultimate endurance race of the season, as well as any other business. In 2 weeks' time, we obviously head over to South Africa for the final round of the championship at Kyalami. I said I wasn't going to be doing the stream until around quarter to 8, but I've come on early because, you know, we've got some new guys to introduce. And speaking of all the new guys, we do have, of course, a new guy on stream. Just bear with me 1 second. So sorry about that. I'll have a look later, June. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. Jen sent me something on a link, so I was like, what's going on? So I do apologise if you saw me mouth something that I shouldn't have done, but I do apologise for that. But as I say, one of the new guys we do have, of course, is currently on stream, is of course Steve. 789. No, 789. So we've got Steve 789. Yeah, he's new to us. He's from Germany, peddling the Porsche. I believe he's new to us, and he's just recently joined Thursday Night Racing League. So I was going to make sure I'm actually still heard on stream, because I don't know whether I remember turning myself. Yes. Yes, so of course the legendary Hopper's in the commentary box if you're wondering who this is. We do have, of course, just trying to find out who is there. We have Hell's 666 in the number 1 McLaren, so it's a bright yellow McLaren by the looks of it. He is a new one to us as well, and it is very nice to see some new drivers coming into, of course, the league, obviously late on in the season, but hopefully back for a full season in season 7, which should be fantastic. We do have, of course, just trying to figure out who actually left then. I think just trying to get out there. I think it might have been one of the other guys, but nevertheless we do have, of course, 11 drivers tonight at the moment. So yeah, I've come on early, but I thought, you know, why not for this evening. So if you see me looking over this direction, over to my right, which where the hand's disappearing, it's because I'm trying to keep an eye on comments as well in the stream, because I do have to stream up and run at the same time, so I can obviously talk to a few of the drivers' fan base. Good evening, Simon. How are you, mate? Come on, Chris Allen. Yes, that is right. aka Silverbeard. He is actually currently on stream. We're just going to go to him just as you join the comments, mate. But yes, we are looking forward to heading over to Kyle Army for the final round of the championship. That's another hour and 15-minute endurance. I'm not too bad, mate. I have a feeling tonight's going to go well. I've got coffee that's currently cooling down, so I'll have to drink that before it goes too cold. But yes, I'm doing okay, mate. I'm buzzing for tonight as per usual. I don't know why that is. I think maybe because it's Chris has a nasty shunt going into the final turn there. I think his brake pedal went to the floor, but let's hope not. But we've got Lemos then. I'll just go through who's here on the grid at the moment with just 30 minutes left of course, free practice. So Lemos championship leader at the moment. Give it horns. I'll tell you what, mate, it's looking forward to being commentating there. We've commentated there before, and I love the circuit. It's fabulous. You know, I like it myself. But as I say, we've got Lemos, current championship leader. Is JMR going to stop the rot? Because JMR has won the last... Did he win the last 2 races, I think? But I can't remember whether we won the last 2. I know we won at, of course, the Nürburgring in the wet. Now, of course, going down to the wire at, of course, Imola last time out. If you've seen the sprint races from Imola, absolutely fantastic battle going down to the wire between Lemos and, of course, JMR. But then also we did have, of course, Stefano Marchetto, multiple season champion at Thursday Night Racing League, take from last to first challenge win as well. It looked like he was unstoppable. Unfortunately, Stefano Marchetto is not making it this evening. It's a bit of a shame because he should have been on the grid, but I believe he's now going over to the PlayStation 5 lobby, so you'll be seeing a lot more of him. Sadly, PS5 commentating isn't unfortunately my skill at the moment because I don't have a PlayStation 5, but the guys hopefully will get their seasons covered hopefully by next season. But if not, we'll see what goes on. You know, I might try and win the lottery over the weekend. It's probably never going to happen, but you never know. But nevertheless, we'll see what happens. But if Stefano Marchetto is watching, hello mate, you know, you are missed on the PlayStation 4 grid. Then we have, of course, just jump forward to, of course, Stansland in the 444 Ferrari. He is going to be one to look out for at the moment. He's actually gone really quick around here so far in testing. He's only around, of course, 0.039 of a second. So from, of course, Lemos at the moment. So that's pretty much quite interesting to see what he's doing in that Ferrari. Maybe he's getting a bit of help off Stefano Marchetto at the moment. I believe Stansland is Italian, so he's on home turf at the moment, so that will be very interesting to see what happens. Then you've got Jeremiah, of course, in the 55 Ferrari. I believe his teammate in the Lamborghini, Yuri's not making it tonight, which is a big shame really, because I was looking forward to see what Yuri could do around here, but it is what it is. You know, these guys, you know, it is a bit of a shame we've got some big names missing tonight, but we did come here in season 1, if I remember rightly. I think we were here season 1 and season 2. I'm trying to jog my memory that far back, but it should be a very good night of racing as well. Then we've got, of course, Jeremiah actually goes top of the tree while I was actually talking about him. He's done 134.557, so that looks like, you know, it's his bogey track around here. He's told me it's a track that he thinks he's hopefully going to do well at, but he finds it very difficult. But then you've got, of course, Skyfu in the number 11 Bentley. Skyfu did very well last time at Imola. You know, it looked like the Bentleys run strong around there, but nevertheless, we'll see exactly how well they go tonight. Can you just, guys, if you're watching the stream, can you let me know if the volume's okay, you know, with the cars and me talking, because sometimes I do worry, you know, that I'm either too loud or the cars are too loud or we're all quiet, you know. But if you can, it'd be much appreciated. As I say, then we've got, of course, Steve making his Thursday Night Racing League debut in the sort of a silver, grey and black Porsche. We've got 3 Porsches on the grid for the first time this season, but it's looking very fabulous, I must indeed. Then you've got Joe Rink Jr. in the McLaren, the Balfour Motorsport McLaren. I think he likes that livery, so he's not changed it all season. It's been thereabouts this season. He's not been in many meetings, but he's obviously come back towards the sharp end. But it should be very interesting. Of course, then you've got Chris Allen in the 28 Ferrari, the green and silver machine. Very nice livery colour on that. And of course, then you've got Future Revenge in the 574 Bentley Continental GT. So he's around. Then you've got EW's back, so Edu's back for another crack of racing. He wasn't there at Imola last time out though, but he's back as he drifts it and nicely saved as well into the latter half. I think he's into the latter half of the lap. Yes, he is. Just keeping an eye on the mini-map. I don't know many corners around here myself, so I'm not going to try and pronounce as much corners as I can, but you never know what will happen. So EW goes off at the last corner. Then you've got, of course, DC Joe in the Ferrari, and then, as I say, you've got Hells in the yellow and black McLaren. Very nice looking livery indeed. But that is the grid for tonight. Well, that's sort of who's here at the moment. I believe we do expect one more driver. I think it was 12 or maybe 13, but nevertheless, it's okay. But we'll jump into, of course, 24 minutes to go in free practice. There is obviously 10-minute qualifying and into an hour and 15 minutes of racing, and then obviously that's exactly the same format when we go to Kyle Army in 2 weeks time. As I say, Kyle Army is a fantastic circuit. They're all fantastic circuits. Season 7, I believe it or not, is going to be probably one of the best. Not too sure what the calendar is going to be for season 7. It is yet to be announced. I believe that is probably going to be announced this week sometime. If it is, then I'll probably mention it on stream in 2 weeks time. But yeah, you'll probably have me in the comments box for season 7. I'm not too sure how long. I've lost count how many races I've commentated on, but just having a look on stream at the moment. But yes, I hope you guys enjoy the stream. If you are, please do give it a massive thumbs up, because the guys will like your action, and I'll tell you what, I will enjoy that you've liked the stream itself. and yes, I do have obviously the face cam, so you don't have to worry about listening to the commentator and thinking, I wonder what the commentator actually really thinks of the racing when he's actually just behind the microphone. But yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a couple of minutes so I can just jump and have my coffee, because obviously, like I say, otherwise it go cold, so I got fueled up for the hour and 15 minutes of racing. These guys are probably going to be sorting out strategies ready for the 10 minutes of qualifying. 10 minutes is going to be over in a flash, but as I say, Kyle Army is the next round in 2 weeks time. It will be what season end as well. It could be, I didn't realise there was a splash of purple on the side of the number one McLaren there of Hells, but as I say, it looks very nice indeed. But going into, of course, Kyle Army in 2 weeks time, that is going to be where either JMR or Lemos will take the title. JMR needs to have a good result tonight to actually try and go back to back, but at the moment I think Lemos will go and potentially try and win it, because he does have an excellent rate of race wins this season, should I say. But yes, I will be back in a minute. I believe the 42 BMW, I'm not too sure who this might be, but the BMW M6 probably makes its debut this evening, and that is Rigora Mount, I believe, or Ringor Mount. So I'm trying my best not to butcher people's name, but he's in the BMW, the 42 BMW M6. So yeah, it's nice to have a BMW back on the circuit. It is probably one of the cars that are very underrated, along with the Lexus RCF. But I'll let you enjoy a lap if I can, if anyone's going to do a lap. JMR's in pit lane, Stansland is currently out on a lap, but we'll see if we do have let's see, try and find out Steve. Is Steve going into pit lane, or is he staying out? No, he's staying out. So I'll give you the sights and sounds of Misano so I'm on board Steve, and then I'll be back in a minute just while I drink my coffee. This coffee's too hot to drink at the minute, so I'm probably gonna just talk for a couple of more minutes. But yes, guys, it is a pleasure to be back in the commentary box yet again for this evening as well. It's been a while but you know, it's been a while since 2 weeks ago since Imola, but as I say, if you are new around here and you are new to the stream, but yeah, so if you are new to the stream, yes, you're probably wondering who this is. Obviously, my name's Hoppers. I've commentated on Thursday Night Racing League for a good number of seasons now. I've been obviously on and off commentating, because obviously due to work commitments, etc. Which obviously, you know, essentially stopped me from doing commentary for the time being. I had to step down for a season. Because I wasn't sure what was happening with my work commitments, and I enjoy it. It's, you know, these guys put on a very good night of racing. There's been a few ups and downs this season. Laguna Seca was a bit touch and go, but there was a lot as Edu actually goes fastest, which we weren't aware of that while we were looking off stream, but he's gone a 1:34.524 at the moment, with JMR only 33 tenths behind. So that just shows that the Porsches are yet again being quite strong around here. You know, JMR's trying to push better with that Ferrari, the number 55 Ferrari. To get there, we do have around just coming up to 50, just under 16 minutes to go before qualifying, which is going to be probably one of the craziest qualifying sessions, excuse me, of the season, because obviously it is the penultimate round of the championship. Excuse me, as I have a bit of a hiccup myself, but it is going to be very wary. The sausage curbs here aren't forgiving either. I remember seeing a clip of a old racer that used to race in Thursday Night Racing League, clip the sausage curbs, and it lifted his car, his McLaren up, actually, believe it or not, just at that corner, just at all that straight there where JMR is going through. But yes, I hope you guys can hear me on stream. If you can, please do let me know. If I'm too quiet at all, just let me know as well. Yes, I am. I'm actually heard on stream. I just turned myself up to see if I am heard on stream. Then you got Lemos, of course. Lemos currently championship leader going into tonight. He is looking forward to seeing if he can get that hand on that championship trophy that he lost to JMR last season. These two actually raced nose to tail most of last season, trying to get potential the championship, but it fell to JMR. And then of course Stefano Marchetto tried to be the guy that would be tried to make it multiple wins and another championship win. GLGD Sport is coming. I believe that's the one that left before in the 41 Ferrari. So there's quite a few Ferraris. There's about one, two, three, four, five. There's 5 Ferraris tonight, so it's kind of ousted by Ferraris on the grid tonight. But we do have, of course, one BMW M6 with Rigora mount. But it should be interesting to see what is going to happen tonight. I believe Steve's pulled off somewhere, but hopefully that isn't going to cause an issue in the race, because if it does, it could catastrophically cause an issue. But I don't think he'd do that, as JMR actually goes over them sausage curbs and you can just see the car just slightly lifting up. But I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm just going to see if my coffee's cooled down again, because I need to drink it before we go into, of course, the main part of commentating is, of course, the qualifying as well as the race. But yeah, please do like and subscribe to TNRL, guys. The guys would love your subscription. It is free of charge. Leaving a thumbs up is also free of charge. We're actually 104 subscribers on the Thursday Night Racing League YouTube as well, which hopefully we can get many more. And hopefully there'll be many more for next season, because next season, as I say, is going to be in a couple of weeks. I'm not too sure where we're going to be visiting, tracks we're going to visit. They normally leave a track to me to pick, but I'm not going to tell the guys on stream where I want to go. Ideally, I'd like to go to a few tracks. Obviously, one of them being Alton Park, because obviously I know Alton Park the back of my hand. I know Snetterton the back of my hand. No bronze hats back around. Same with Silverstone and of course Donington Park. So any of them, any British circuits I know back around. I know quite a few. I know Monza quite well. I'd like to go back to Monza. There's quite a few circuits I'd like to do, but it's down to the admin to decide where the guys race next season. It isn't down to me. I obviously get to pick a track for the guys, because then it kind of gives the guys a bit of an idea where the commentator wants to go. Also, if you are in the Thursday Night Racing League, you are in the Discord, they do have a time trial at the moment ongoing to see who can beat the lap time I set at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya the other week, or over the week. I think mine was a 1:57.264 of a second. I think I've been beaten, but nevertheless it doesn't matter. I do it for fun, and these guys are going to put on a good show of racing tonight. I will be giving everyone quite a bit of airtime. I will be going on board with some battles. I will be doing pretty much some amazing stuff for the stream. They do have a mandatory pit stop in the race. It can be done between, I think they will have the pit window timer at the top right once the race does start, where my head is actually. The pit window timer will be there once the race starts. When the pit lane window does open, they have to do a mandatory stop. It's either for fuel or tyres. I think it all depends on what the guys do. Some guys actually do run to quite near the end of the race as well. I'll leave it to the last 19 minutes of the race, but I suppose it all depends on the setup as well as how they feel. But yes, I will be back in a minute for the rest of free practice and then getting into qualifying. I do apologise about that, ladies and gents. Just get my coffee done me, ready to commentate. Good evening, Nick Star 321. Let's go, Germs. How are you? Welcome into the stream, by the way. So Germ Arfon, he's currently out on track. He's currently third in free practice with only 8 minutes to go in the session. As I say, looking at the times it is a 10-minute qualifying, it is an hour and 15-minute race. It is quite a long race as well. It doesn't feel like it, but you know, some people don't realise how long the race gets. Actually, it's a bit of a funny one, but as I get myself comfortable, because I'm going to be sat in this chair for quite some time while I do the comms, but hopefully you guys can still hear me on stream, and obviously you can see me on stream, so let's give you guys my face as well as the voice of Thursday Night Racing League. So then, what is going to happen tonight? Are we going to have a new winner, or are we going to have Lemos and of course Edu and of course JMR battle out for the top three? The podium could be a Porsche 1-2, it could be even a 1-2-3 if Steve gets bang on the pace. He's currently 6th fastest, is Steve, so the Porsches are looking very strong around here, as well as the Ferraris. You know, the Bentleys are getting there. Skyfu's up to of course 5th place at the moment, excuse me, but yeah, it's looking likely a good grid. So we've got around just under 7 minutes to go. JMR still out on track at the moment, probably thinking, yes, I'm going to go out on track, because while Lemos is sat in pit lane, probably getting into the zone ready for qualifying, I'm going to try and go faster than him. But it is going to be a fantastic night of racing. I'm just going to make sure that I can jump into the onboard cameras. Good evening, David. Yes, JMR for the win, although he's been making racing driver excuses about the pace of the Porsche. He's been doing that quite a bit, hasn't he? You know, I've noticed that when I've been commentating on him, and when I've been trying to have him in the comms box after the race. Speaking of driver interviews after the race, I'll see how much time we've got after the race, because obviously, you know, depending on what time we get to get going. But if I do get time, I will try and interview a driver or two. But like I say, it all depends on what time we get the race started, because obviously, you know, it's an hour and 15-minute race. Some of the guys are obviously international, and it is what it is. But we'll see how well it goes tonight, you know. But nevertheless, we've got 13 drivers, so just under 5 minutes left of free practice. So it's about right. It is about right for free practice. Qualifying is due to start at excuse me, is due to start at 8 PM UK time, 9 PM Central European time, and then of course 4 PM Eastern Standard Time. I believe that is what it is for people that are in America, or depending on where you're watching in the world as well. I'm not too sure what time it is in South Africa. I'm sure Simon will tell us. I have no idea what time it is over there, but you know, it's probably a bit late. I think it's probably 10 o'clock at night over there, actually. Or coming up to 10 o'clock. But looking forward to seeing what tonight brings. It is going to be very close between the Porsches and the Ferraris at the moment, because the EW's gone second fastest. So the 36 machine, the red and black and silver machine, he goes a bit wide there. Had a bit of a drift on at Laguna Seca in the early in the season, and then he was battling. I think he was battling for, I think it was either the race lead or second place in the race in Laguna, and he clipped the curb and it's spanning round, and it was quite a remarkable recovery. But see how well this goes. We've got just under 3 minutes, well, just under 4 minutes now. But EW goes off at turn number 1. But just going to play it cool this evening. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. If you are, please do let me know. Anything you want to ask me regarding the drivers, or if there's anything you want me to mention while on stream, please do. Obviously, remember sensible, but you know, I'm all for seeing what's going to happen tonight. As you can see on the track map in the bottom right corner, you may see the cars floating to get back onto the track map. That's because I'm in pit lane. So when we see the car floating across the track map going in towards turn number 1, turns 1 and 2 actually, then we know they're going out of pit lane, so that'll give us a good indication. It's a shame that I can't have the track map a bit bigger, but if I do this, then yeah, it will give me a bigger picture and give me the race numbers bigger, but it kind of gets the car in the car gets in the way of the car, so that's why it is there. But 2 minutes left then, free practice, then we head into, of course, 10 minutes of qualifying. But we do have, obviously, like I say, 13 drivers tonight. It is kind of, it's a bit decent having this BMW M6 on the, I think that's the, is it the sprint model, is it the endurance model? There's double yellow somewhere, because I'm on board with Rigo Manu, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm sure the guys will correct me with their names, but we do have the helicam. We do have, obviously, the looking back camera, so we do have a lot of interest tonight with some of the guys, but I'll try and have a look exactly what's going on. But so far so good. But Rigo, then I'm going to call him Rigo because I don't want to get his name mispronounced. So Rigo then in the BMW, the 42 BMW. It is the, I think it's the sprint version, it's not the endurance version, or it might be the endurance version actually, because the I can't remember exactly the team. I think it's the Woken Horse Machine from, of course, Germany. So he's in that this evening. But it could even be the Schnitzer team. I can't even remember top of my head, because they do have obviously Godspeed Charlie Lamb, because Charlie Lamb sadly passed away a few years ago. So he's in the BMW. Getting used to it though. I remember when I did a race for another league that sadly folded, just to get to grips with Assetto Corsa Competizione. I raced the BMW around Monza, and funny enough I actually raced on my trusty controller. Quite a difficult car to get handful of, but I'm sure Rigo will try and do his best. But that's a bit about me as well. I used to race, but now do commentary. But we get ready then for 10 minutes of qualifying, and there will be excuse me, a few cars already heading out onto track. So like the JMR EW going out onto track. I believe looking at that, I believe that is DC Joe going out there as well. There's quite a few cars that are going out onto track now, so there's going to be a big massive traffic jam if JMR gets stuck into it, because that's where he doesn't want to be. You know, he doesn't want to be stuck in traffic. He wants to have that clean air. Stansland is also out there. Joe Rick Jr. is out there. Chris Allen's gone out. DC Joe, as I say, Hells has gone out. There's quite a few cars that have gone out at the moment, so there's going to be quite a bit of hefty traffic for JMR if he gets held up. Doesn't want to get held up though as much as he can, because he's only got 10 minutes of qualifying. But he's probably wanting a better starter position, but then he's got to realise that he's got the other Porsche, the other fast Porsche as well. Of course, EW, they're both just having a bit of a battle. I think he's let EW go past so he can a lot of things ongoing, but we'll soon find out how quickly that's going to be. But just jumping into a lot of interesting times, but you never know. But well, it could be very interesting between the likes of JMR and EW, but there's quite a few cars. Steve's still in pit lane at the moment. I think he's just trying to chill out for a bit, just because obviously it's first qualifying session of his racing, but I think he is about to go out. You got GLGD Sport still there, with Future Revenge is also in pit lane, but Future Revenge does like to stay in pit lane. I'm not too sure why though. Maybe it's probably just because, you know, the setup isn't there for him, or it's just how it is, but I don't have a problem with people sitting in pit lane. It's down to them. It is down to them. 7.5 minutes left then, excuse me, of qualifying. Jeremiah currently still there. As I said, this is what he doesn't want. Cars that have got that ahead of him now, he's got traffic, so he's going to have to try and push on. He's got to try and get that clean lap. Lemos is actually out of pit lane as well. So at the moment, I think EW is going to be probably the first car to do the set the pace then, because he's there. I think Rigo was going on to his flying lap, so there's a bit of clean air for these guys. Yeah, some of the guys are probably getting clean air at the moment, but whereas Jeremiah at the moment still stuck behind DC Joe at the moment. He needs to push on, especially if he knows for a fact Lemos is going to be very quick round here tonight as well. But at the moment you can see EW firing his way into the final turn. Then is he going to go on to a fast lap? We'll see exactly what's going to go on. We'll go on board with, of course, EW to cross the line. He's currently third at the moment. He's down fourth in qualifying, but we'll see who's on provisional pole position in a moment or two. But EW is fifth. He's dropped down to fifth at the moment. There's yellow flag somewhere in qualifying, but that is going to be a bit hampered with the likes of GDL Sport at the moment, or GLDD Sport. Keep calling GDL Sport for some bizarre reason, but on board with EW, then trying to get fast laps there. You can see that lap counter there, the race logic. It's obviously telling him he's counting his lap time, but he's going to have to try and get past the likes of GLGD Sport at the moment. But JMR's actually top of the tree then, so after even though he's been caught up in traffic, he's done 134.935, so he's very quick as well as Stansland. The Ferrari's looking very strong at the moment. DC Joe in the other Ferrari's third. Joe Rick Jr. currently fourth in the McLaren. That's a good lap time. But I think EW was actually on an out lap there. He already dirtied his time, but then it looks like Lemos goes top of the tree. We know this is going to happen. 5 minutes left just about of qualifying. So Lemos, he is on course to try and get another pole position with his Porsche, the number 24 Porsche, 134.506. So this is exactly what JMR does not need. But then EW, oh, he goes fast. He goes fast with 134.1 and 134.197, so it's a 0.309 seconds behind his Lemos. Stansland is currently third at the moment. That's good qualifying time for him at the moment. 4.5 minutes excuse me, 4.5 minutes to go then, with JMR currently still fourth at the moment. Skyfu up into, of course, fifth place in the Bentley at the moment. This is absolutely unreal. The times have changed, the tide's turning, you know, it's going to be very quick. DC Joe still in, of course, sixth place at the moment. Hell's in, of course, seventh. Chris Allen eighth. Joe Rick Jr. coming out pit lane in ninth at the moment with 4 minutes to go. Steve still yet to set a time. He's come out of pit lane, I believe, so this could be very interesting to see what's going to happen with a newcomer to Thursday Night Racing League. But he's in the Porsche at the moment. Would he get on to make it 1, 2, 3 for Porsche? It would be very good if he did, because that just shows exactly how much JMR is struggling at the moment. But Lemos is still there, but he's gone quicker. This time. He's only 0.36 for a second between him and EW at the moment, but that seems to be very quick. We'll go and see what of course EW is doing. He's about to cross the line though. Is he going to go quicker? Oh, I think he has gone quicker. No, he hasn't. He's done a 134.308, but that seems to be, could be quick. It could be, it might not be, but you never know. But it's still the same time roughly, but he's trying to push on. JMR's still there, of course, in third at the moment. But then you've got, of course, just looking what Steve's doing. Steve's got abandoned his lap, so he's gone back into pit lane. But maybe that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. But Lemos currently still championship leader as well, and of course pushing on for what could be a very quick time for the Porsche driver. It's Porsche 1-2 at the moment with 2.5 minutes just about left of qualifying here for round number 6 of season 6 here at Misano. But we'll see what happens. Lemos coming through the final turn then. Go on board with Lemos just as he goes through the final turn. What's he going to do? Because it looks like he's gone a bit quicker. But that was his outlap. Or was it? Did he dirt it? That's what I'm yet to find out, because he's gone a 133.609, no 906 rather. But that's going to be quite interesting as EW crosses the line now. What does he do? He's still 0.291 of a second. JMR still third at the moment. It's coming through the latter half though. What's he going to do? He's on an outlap, or he's dirted it somehow. But that's going to hamper him this time around. He's only got 1 minute 23 to go in course qualifying at the moment. Skyfu stance lander there. But this is where it's going to get close. So Steve, Future Revenge, Rigo are the ones yet to set a time. I think they're going to sit out because it's got a minute left. So they're not going to get round as quick as they can, are they? Lemos is currently he's currently nailing the corners there. He's actually trying to push on as best as he can. Is he going to get onto pole position? Because this is what he wants. He wants pole position yet again. Because he knows for a fact JMI is struggling at the moment. There's a yellow flag somewhere, but we'll see what happens as Lemos crosses the line just about. Goes even quicker. Goes a 138.3. No, 133, sorry. 801 of a second with 24 seconds left. EW, where is he? He's coming through the latter half now. What's he gonna do? Because looks like a Porsche is about to be a 1-2 at the moment with 7 seconds left. JMR sits in pit lane at the moment. Maybe that's exactly what they want as qualifying does come to an end. So they are waiting for drivers to finish their laps. Skyfu in 5th place. That's a good lap time from the Bentley driver. Hell's on his debut, and of course 7th at the moment in the number 1 McLaren. So that's quite an interesting lap time for him. But that will still put him 7th. He's still 7th at the moment. Skyfu coming through a lap there. There's a other car out there. That's Joe Rick Jr. coming through the latter half now. Excuse me. But to tell you what, that qualifying session was a bit tense. But Joe Rick Jr. goes 8th fastest then, so that is quite a good lap time from the McLaren. But we'll soon find out exactly what is going to happen. But it is of course Lemos then, and that is on to provisional pole position at the moment, unless Skyfu comes across the line and then pips him. But no, it's not. It still makes him 5th fastest at the moment, so fair point to Skyfu for the Bentley. But going into the hour and 15 minute race then, we see Lemos that takes a provisional pole position, or takes pole position by 0.396 of a second from EW as well. There is a formation lap to begin, so there is a green flag lap. Then you've got Lemos, then followed by EW, JMR excuse me, JMR followed by Stansland in the Ferrari, so it's a Ferrari third and fourth on the grid. Then you've got a Bentley of Skyfu, he's on the jacks at the moment, probably just getting his set up correctly. They've got DC Joe in the Ferrari, so it's Bentley, Ferrari on row number 3. Row number 4 then is of course McLaren, and McLaren of Hells, and of course Joe Rick Jr. And then of course on row number 5, I believe, yes it is it row number 5? Yes it will be. Yeah, row number 5 is 2 Ferraris of GD Sport and Chris Allen. Then of course, then on row number 6 is of course Steve, and of course Future Adventure, it's Porsche versus Bentley. And then at the rear of the field on the final row of the grid then is Rigo in the BMW. So it is going to be a very exciting hour and 15 minute of racing. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen for this one. We are going to be probably losing my voice after this, because I think this one's going to be nail biting towards the end of the race. It seems that just looking at the grid at the moment, the 2 Porsches are going to be nose to tail, but then you've also got JMR there, so it's going to be quite an interesting opening couple of minutes in the race, and probably an opening couple of laps, but hopefully we get no issues this evening. But we'll soon find out what goes on, because we do have of course the green flag lap at the moment. Spectators are giving up for this. They were buzzing throughout qualifying as well as through practice, but as you can tell it is quite warm here at Misano at the moment. It's quite warm out there, as it's going to be quite air conditioned in the comms box, but who knows what's going to happen then. So Lemos then followed by EW followed by JMR at the moment. Then it's of course Stansland, and then of course Skyfu is currently down in 6th place. I think DC Joe's just got ahead of him on the warm-up lap, as they tend to do, but it's not a problem. Then you've got Hells in the McLaren, and of course Joe Rick Jr. in the other McLaren. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what's going to happen. They got GD Sport in the Ferrari, followed by Chris Allen in the Ferrari, so it's another Ferrari. And then it's of course Steve in the Porsche. Then of course Future Avenger with his lights on at the moment. I think he's aware it's not raining, it's not dark, but maybe he's put them on to go from the attack. I think he likes to put them on just in case. And then of course you've got Rigo at the rear of the field in the BMW M6. But yes, it's looking likely we're going to get ready for a very interesting penultimate round of the championship as well, because like I say, after tonight we do head to Kyalami in 2 weeks time. PlayStation 5 guys are here next week, and I think their championship's looking exciting as well. I'm not too sure how well that's gone this season, but hopefully the PlayStation 5 guys have a fantastic end to what is their season. But they visited Watkins Glen, I believe, in their season. Unfortunately, the PlayStation 4 guys do not have access to, of course, Watkins Glen, which it's a big shame really, because that could have been an epic track to commentate on. But looking at what's going to happen, then you've got Lemos just weaving up the sides of, EW JMR frantically. The guys are getting in towards grid order then, but you can just see just about what's going to happen. And you got Stansland, and you got oh, that's annoying because I didn't mean to click that. But nevertheless it's fine, because what we'll do, we'll throw the helicam, because they are roughly getting into grid order now towards the final 2 turns. So you can just see everyone getting into grid order. I think there's a few that have almost near enough jumped the gun. Got to be careful, because if they jump the line before they get to start finish line, if they go too quick on the formation lap, they will get a penalty. It probably is a drive through, but hopefully we don't get any of them this evening, and we don't get any track pings for track limits either, because that's what kind of annoys some drivers, is getting pinged for track limits. But it is what it is sometimes. But we are getting ready then for the penultimate round of the championship, and we are ready to go. So it is lights out and away we go then. Lemos gets a good jump in towards turn number 1. Who is going to get there? Looks like already we do have quite a few battles further back. But at the moment, JMR trying to chase after EW. Will go on board with JMR's Ferrari as we jump on board with him. He's trying to get there. He's got Stansland behind him. But it looks like already the Ferraris are trying to escape from the... or trying to catch up to the Porsches. The Bentley of... as you can see, Skyfu goes a bit wide down to the sausage curbs. You can just tell that Bentley was getting a bit up and over the sausage curbs. Not going to do his suspension any good. I think future Avengers have been overtaken by, of course, Rigo at the moment. Rigo up into 12th rather. He's doing quite well at the moment, but we'll see what's going to happen further back. There's I'm on board with Steve trying to chase after Chris Allen in the number 28 Ferrari. So we're on board with the 789 Porsche. We'll go on board with him, just see what he's going to do. He's going to try and size up, of course, Chris Allen at the moment. He looks like he's just about, but so far so good as JMR actually gets into the race lead. Didn't see that coming. Well, maybe that's happened. Maybe the two Porsches have had a bit of contact. Didn't know exactly how he's done that, but he's definitely got into the race lead then, so that's quite lucky for JMR. He's now in the race lead. Then he's probably sized it up. You know, he's obviously got to keep it together now. As the pit lane window is now open, but they haven't got the pit window graphic, so that's a bit of a shame really, because could have done with that. But nevertheless, never mind. But Lemos is there then, followed by EW at the moment, trying to catch him up. Excuse me. But the Porsches are trying to break up to JMR as well, but we yet to see what happens. Then you've got Stansland, then you've got, of course, Skyfu currently catching each other. Just about there, but then you've got DC Joe Hells, GD Sport, then of course Joe Rick Jr., and of course Chris Allen. Steve is currently still there in 11th, doing well on the opening lap. And of course Rigo and of course Future Revenge coming nose to tail, going into one of the corners here. But the Bentley versus the BMW, the Bentley gets his almost nose chopped off by the BMW, but JMR still leading the race then. From, of course, Lemos at the moment, Lemos is trying to push on, but EW, he's right on Lemos's gearbox. Go on board with the number 38 Porsche. Oh, he slides off just as we go on board with him. That's a bit unfortunate, that. He slid off track there, so that's allowed Stansland to get in, of course, third place now. So it's a Ferrari 1-3 at the moment. That is a bit unfortunate for EW. He's lost a lot of ground by the looks of it. He's back down in, looking at the times, I think he's down in potentially 11th. It could be 11th as Steve tries to make a move on Chris Allen. So there's two Porsches at the rear of the field at the moment, but I'll tell you what. Yeah, commentator's curse indeed, mate, yes. I think it was the commentator's curse indeed, but it's not the first time I've ever done that. But EW gets past Steve then, so that's a good move on Steve there. But JMR still leading the race then from Lemos at the moment. Lemos trying to push on from JMR, or trying to push up to JMR, should I say. Not push on, but then Stansland, and then of course Skyfu in third and fourth, and DC Joe up into fifth. Then you've got Hells in the number 1 McLaren in the yellow, black and purple machine, currently holding on for dear life at the moment, in of course 6th place in his debut race for Thursday Night Racing League. And then GLGD Sport in 7th, then Joe Rick Jr., followed by Chris Allen. Oh, Chris Allen's got a bit damaged there. Don't know what's exactly called. Chris Allen's dropped down to potentially 11th. Don't know exactly what's happened to him there, but then has he had an issue with another car by the looks of it, or has he gone off? But a bit unfortunate there. He's got a lot of damage to the front of that Ferrari at the moment, where JMR is still leading them with 1 hour and 10 minutes left of this race. So I'm just trying to get comfy at the same time. But JMR then still leading from Lemos at the moment, followed by Stansland. And of course Skyfu trying to catch him up, but it's going to be very close then. Let's have a look at what's happening further back as EW trying to come onto the back of Joe Rick Jr. as he gets past him. Just gets past him quickly, but I think Chris Allen's actually going to go into pit lane. Yes, he has. He's gone into pit lane. He's got a substantial amount of damage to that Ferrari. That's probably going to cost him a couple of laps now. Probably not going to be happy with that, but not too sure exactly what happened to the green Ferrari. So EW then, after that spin, he's currently down in, well, made his way back up to 8th place, but probably count his lucky stars at the moment. JMR still leads the race. Excuse me. But yeah, JMR still leads the race then from Lemos. It looks like the Porsches are either struggling or JMR's just got a trick up his sleeve. But Stansland at the moment under threat from Skyfu at the moment, so the number 444 Ferrari under threat from the number 11 Bentley Continental GT. We'll go on board with Skyfu if we can. And don't put the commentator's curse on them this time, Hoppers, come on. There is a yellow flag somewhere. There was a yellow flag on track, but it looks like there's a lot of argy-bargy. There's another car into pit lane. I think it was DC Joe and of course Chris Allen. Whether they came together or not is another thing though in the opening laps, but looks to me that Skyfu trying to catch up to Stansland at the moment, but they've still got an hour and 8 minutes left. It's not even halfway at the point of the race yet, but there's already a couple of things going on. Hell's in 5th, then followed by GD Sport. I need to call them GDL Sport again. You know, that just shows me, doesn't it? But Chris Allen goes out of pit lane. He's down about 3 laps down at the moment as EW tries to chase after the number Ferrari. The 41 Ferrari is this time. So go on board with, of course, EW at the moment. Trying to put the commentator's curse on him this time, but looking at what he's going to do, maybe he just clip the curb, and that's what spun him this time. But that time round, but he's kept it together nicely now. He's obviously trying to not do what he did earlier on, but he's trying to still get past GD Sport at the moment for what could be another place. It could be a 6th place. He's trying to fight his way back into, of course, the top 5 of the race, but he's currently there. Let's have a look what's happening further back. Well, further up is Lemos is still there. JMR still leads the race then. He's doing a stellar job trying to get away from Lemos at the moment. So he's got under an hour and 7 minutes to go, but then you've got the battle between the Ferrari and Bentley at the moment. DC Joe still in pit lane. That Ferrari's probably had a bit of damage limitation, but we'll see how well that's going with Skyfu currently down in, of course, 4th place at the moment. That could be a bit of an interesting move as he actually does it. Yes, I knew he was going to do that, kind of, because he literally got past Stansland. He was teeing him up. Stansland gets across them sausage curbs. He's got to be very careful. ZW has now got past GLGD Sport, but his next target is Hells in the number 1 McLaren. Is he going to get into roughly now the top 5 of the race? Chris Allen is a lap down. He is a lap down, so he's not 3 laps down like we thought it would be, but he's currently trying to push on. But EW then trying to catch up to Hells in the McLaren. Is he going to be able to do it? Because that's going to be the next idea where he needs to push on. But we'll soon find out what's going to happen. But EW literally trying to catch up to that number 1 McLaren as best as he can. But is he going to get by, or is he going to end up making mistakes? We don't really know as of yet. DC Joe's still in pit lane with that Ferrari, so that Ferrari must have quite hefty damage. I think Chris Allen will make his mandatory pit stop, though he's not yet done his mandatory, because he had to pit. Obviously, when he had to pit for damage, he's not actually done his mandatory, so we'll see what happens. But EW currently still chasing after that number 1 McLaren with an hour and 5 minutes left of racing, so EW back trying to get back into the top 5 of the race then after quite a bit of a spin there, but that dropped him down a bit as Hells and of course EW tried to almost go side by side. It could be side by side yet again. They're going side by side down this straight here, but then EW gets in front, so the Porsche works its magic past the McLaren, but then Hells is trying to fight back. He does it again. They're almost side by side again as Hells gets alongside EW. He's trying to obviously defend like mad from that Porsche. It's going to be side by side, trying to be side by side. Fantastic racing from the pair of them here, but EW gets back in front. So the 38 machine's back into the top 5 of the race then. So that could be a very stellar battle as Lemos goes off. Lemos has gone off. Looks like the Porsches have suffered quite a lot of issues at the moment. So he's dropped a lot of ground from JMR at the moment, but EW and Hells are still battling, but DC Joe's still in pit lane, and so that Ferrari must have quite a lot of damage. So I've had a lot of damage, or it's just, you know, not been right for him. Skyfu's still in third then, with Lemos still in second. There's DC Joe actually comes out of pit lane. He's come out of pit lane around, stuck into the traffic. He's gonna have to be careful. So let's see what's going to happen. Is EW now trying to get away from Hells? There's a train of cars between GD Sport and of course Steve's trying to get past the number 41 Ferrari. Well, that's going to be very interesting to see what the other Porsche can do. Maybe the Porsches are suffering at the moment with a bit of issues, but still 1 hour and 3 minutes to go in this race. But Steve's going to try and get past, of course, GD Sport on his debut, trying to get past the grey and black and yellow Ferrari at the moment. But could be very interesting to see what's going to happen between the pair of them at the moment. But having a look what's going to happen here as Hells is slowing. I don't think he's slowing down. I think he's just try to have a bit of a momentum, try to get away from these guys. There's a GD Sport and Steve are still battling nose to tail. Steve's literally trying to push on to get onto the back of that Ferrari as best as he can. But you can just see what the Porsche is like here. I think the Porsche is having a bit of issues with grip at the moment. So it could be very careful to see what's going to happen between the pair of them. Who knows what will happen, but looking at Steve then trying to tee up that 41 Ferrari, the car that's ahead of him at the moment. Let's see if he can get past that 41 Ferrari. We'll throw the helicam up a moment, but it seems there's a lot of interest to see what will happen here. JMR still leading the race, then he's 3.073 of a second from Lemos at the moment. Lemos is trying to catch him back up slowly, but we'll go back to this battle between GD Sport and Steve at the moment. Steve's trying to literally get on the back of that back of the 41 Ferrari at the moment. The Porsche is obviously, it's looking very feisty. It's got past GD Sport now. It's going to be a bit of a battle between these two. I'm yet to see what will happen, but Steve's trying to get away from that Ferrari now. Is he going to get that gap though? Still an hour and 1 minute to go in this race. We're still a long way to go. We're not even at the halfway mark as of yet. We'll see what is happening further back. Got Rigo in the BMW, currently 11th, a lowly 11th. Future Revenge in the Bentley, currently 10th. Joe Rick Jr. in the McLaren, the other McLaren, the Balf Motorsport McLaren. And then of course Chris Allen at 12th and DC Joe, unfortunately 5 laps down at the moment after his lengthy pit stop. But Steve is trying to get away from GD Sport. GD Sport is coming at great speed and knots, try and get back up to that Porsche. Skyfu currently in third then. Lemos still second, trying to chase after JMR. JMR literally knows what he's got to do to try and take the championship alive to go to Kyle Army in 2 weeks time. It could be a very interesting finale as we tick off 15 minutes of racing already. 15 minutes has gone in a flash. But now we're at the hour mark then, so an hour to go in this race. So it just ticks over, just under an hour left in this round number 6 of season 6 here at Misano for Thursday Night Racing League, the PlayStation 4 lobby. And I'll tell you what, guys, so far, if you just missed the start of the stream, or if you missed part of the stream, EW span out of contention. He was third, but then he was trying to chase after the top 2, but then he spun out. But it looks like he's going to try and chase after Stansland. Stansland's got a bit of body scars on that Ferrari at the moment as he's trying to get past EW's trying to get past DC Joe there for what could be a lap down. It's quite difficult to overtake around here, especially with lap cars at the moment, but that's going to delay him even more to try and get into the top 4 of the race. But who knows what's going to happen. We've got GLGD Sport trying to push on. He's got a car, he's got Steve and of course Hells thereabouts, but Hells is trying to push on in that number 1 McLaren in 6th place at the moment on his debut. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen there. You got Lemos still trying to push after JMR. The gap's come down to around 2.950 of a second, but that all depends though. But then Skyfu still third at the moment. Skyfu's had a good run of results of late, but it's obviously the Bentley trying to take the might to, of course, the likes of the Porsche and Ferrari, with the likes of EW trying to push on. But we'll see what EW's trying to do. He's trying to get back into the top 4 of the race, because he knows for a fact that he lost 3rd place after spinning off, and it nearly left him dead last. And I think it was kind of either commentator's curse, or he just clipped the curb and then it just, or something snapped on him and it pushed him into the gravel. But he's currently hunting down Stansland for 4th place at the moment. Stansland's got to be careful not to run too wide over that curb, but EW there currently trying to push on. But Stansland goes a bit wide, got to be careful with track limits as well, don't want to get pinged for track limits. It's still a long way to go, but not even at the halfway mark of the race yet either, which we're not far away from that coming up very soon. But just see what's going to happen. Lemos currently still there, but I think EW is now going to try and size up Stansland for what could be a very epic overtake. On board with the Porsche driver, the 38 Porsche. Let's see what he can do. He's around just about catching up to Stansland with 57, just under 57 minutes remaining. So we're not far away. He's almost slams into the back of Stansland there, is EW, because Stansland looked like he put the brakes on a bit too late there as well. But on board with EW then, could be a very crazy overtake. Is he going to make it stick? He's got that line. He's trying to push on. Don't want any, it looks like Stansland's actually, Ferrari's been very heavily body scarred. He's flashing the light saying, "Come on, mate, out of my way. I'm quicker than you. You know that." But could be very interesting. GLGD Sport is down in 8th place. So Steve's got past him, and I believe Hells has got past as well. But go back to this battle between Stansland and of course EW. They're both nose to tail. Both nose to tail at the moment. This could be a very interesting overlap and overtake, should I say. But looks like Stansland's trying to close the door on EW. They're both side by side. Looks like EW pushes out wide Stansland just to get back into the top 4, just about, but I don't think there's any malice in that. But it looks like there could be quite an interesting battle brewing as Steve's up into, of course, 6th now. GLGD Sport in 7th. Helsen currently 8th place at the moment on his debut. He's done a very stellar job so far to push on with that. Joe Rick Jr. in 9th and Future Revenge 10th. Rigo in, of course, 11th at the moment in that beautiful sounding BMW M6. then of course Chris Allen 2 laps down in the number 28 Ferrari, as well as DC Joe in the 76 Ferrari, three laps down. So DC Joe probably will have to take his mandatory pit stop again. But just under 55 minutes to go in the race then. Jeremiah still leads the way then. Oh, from Lemos. Lemos is trying to push on best as he can. Skyfu in that Bentley Continental still third at the moment, so fair play. But EW and Stansland, they've not left each other alone. It's almost like a playground scrap between the pair of them. But it could be all or nothing between the pair of them going into what will be 54 minutes remaining. But excuse me. But so far so good between these guys. A bit battle scarred is that Ferrari of Stansland. Maybe that's how Chris Allen got his damage. I'm not too sure though. But I don't think it's actually appeared to affect Stansland at the moment. But 54 minutes left then. What it could be, but Steve Huntley's still there in 6th. He's done a stellar job, to be fair, to get into the top 6. EW and of course Stansland, they're not going to leave each other alone. I think these two will have a bit of a battle, unless we get a battle between JMR and of course Lemos. We'll try and give everyone a bit of airtime tonight as well as best as we can. But at the moment we're looking at the likes of Stansland, of course EW at the moment, both had a sensational bit of a battle between each other before, but Stansland is trying to push on. But so far none of the 13 runners have had any misfortune as of yet. Don't want to put another commentator's curse on anyone, but we're around 53 minutes remaining in this race. It is kind of where we stand, because obviously JMR still leads the race, and from of course Lemos, Skyfu, EW now back into the top 4 of the race after a bit of a scary moment when the wheel kind of snapped. I think he clipped the curb and it just tried to either span him, or it was probably a commentator's curse. But JMR then so far still in the lead of the race, holding on for dear life. He's obviously thinking, yep, Lemos is going to try and catch me, but I want to try and get away from Lemos. I want to get another victory here tonight, because excuse me, it probably will be, you know, if JMR gets this race win tonight, it probably will go down to the wire at Kyalami, and that'll be a very interesting end to the season. Skyfu currently still in 3rd, then EW still 4th, Stansland chasing after him quite a bit now, but there's a bit of a gap, 4th and 5th. We've got Steve in 6th, then of course GD Sports 7th, Hells in of course 8th, Joe Rick Jr. 9th, Future Revenge 10th, Vigo in 11th, Chris Allen in of course 12th, followed by DC Joe in the 13th. But so far it's a bit interesting to find out what's going on. You know, we've got 52 minutes, just under 52 minutes to go. Not even halfway of this race yet, ladies and gents. If you are joining the stream, welcome in. This is round number 6 of season 6 of Thursday Night Racing League, the PlayStation 4 lobby from Misano. But it looks like we are going to be looking likely for a good sensational battle. I think JMR, when he knows for a fact if Lemos pits before him, or he pits before Lemos, the race win could go down to the wire. But we don't know what goes from, we don't know what setups they're using, because, you know, no one seems to tell us exactly what's going on. You know, we don't know their setups. We probably don't need to know their setups. Maybe for a championship excuse me, maybe for a championship perspective for going into Kyalami, maybe that's what we need. But at the moment I believe JMR has got past he's got past Vigo at the moment, as Lemos tries to pass him. I couldn't even get my words out. Tries to get past Vigo so he can put a lap on him, but that's going to allow JMR, if JMR knows that Lemos is getting held up, then maybe that will come to his advantage. But EW still there now in 3rd place at the moment, with of course Stansland still 5th, Steve still 6th, GD Sport in 7th, Hell's currently still there, 8th rather, Joe Rick Jr. and of course 9th, Future Revenge 10th, Rigo in, of course. Yeah, Rigo has now been lapped by, of course, Lemos, but still there in 11th in the BMW, not giving up. Chris Allen's still 2 laps down at the moment. And the number 28 Ferrari has had a bit of a unfortunate night of racing as Chris Allen at the moment, and then DC Joe 3 laps down in the number 76 Ferrari rather. So JMR still leading them from, of course, Lemos at the moment. Well, this is what could happen, you know. 49, it's coming up to 49 minutes to go in the race, and it's looking likely we could see what's going to happen between these guys. It could be that Lemos is catching JMR very quickly, but you know, the gap doesn't exactly, you know, it's not exaggerated, but it's around 2.4 of a second between these two, both title nemesis from last season as well as title nemesis from this season. So as I say, anything can happen in this race. It's, you know, it's 48, just under 49 minutes to go. You know, we're still not even at the halfway point of the race yet. Skyfu's still there, and of course third at the moment. He's obviously, you know, going to try and push on. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes on, but EW still 4th. Stansland still 5th, Steve in 6th then. Solid W for Steve in the 789 Porsche, but you can see Lemos literally now wringing the neck of that Porsche. He's trying to literally say, I'm going to strangle the neck of this Porsche to say, right, I'm going to catch up to JMR. JMR needs to stop getting away from me. He's got away from me a couple of times in the last 2 races, or the last 3 races, should we say, because obviously at the Nürburgring, and then of course the 2 sprint races at Imola. But Lemos actually, I think JMR still won the race at the second race of the sprint race at Imola, or he came second because I think he let Lemos back through actually, because he thought it was a bit of contact. So, you know, I don't think the steward saw anything as that, but who knows? We've got to, you know, still got plenty of time in this race, but Lemos is trying to catch him. It's 2.135 of a second now to get to JMR, but it's going to be very close as you like. Excuse me. So Future Revenge still in 10th. We go 11th. Chris Allen still 12th. DC Joe 4 laps down in 13th. But I'll tell you what's happening between Lemos at the moment is Lemos going to push on. So I'm on board with Lemos then. Good to see JMR ahead of him. But this is exactly what Lemos doesn't really want. He doesn't really want JMR to get ahead of him too quickly, because it could be all or nothing. Anything could happen in this race though. But JMR trying to push on. He's got 2 cars ahead of him. He's probably going to have to put a lap on very soon. But I think that is Future Revenge and I think it's Future Revenge and 28. Yeah, that's Chris Allen. So Chris Allen's going to go another lap down, unfortunately. But JMR, so far so good, in control of this race here at Misano for round number 6 of season 6. But it's going to be looking very fruitful going into the last couple of minutes, maybe during the next halfway, the next sort of stint, if you will. 46 minutes, just under 46 minutes to go in this race. It's still quite a long way to go, but JMR still pushing on. You can see Lemos lurking in that background, probably thinking, mate, if you make a mistake or these lap cars ahead of you hold you up, that race lead will be mine again. But we'll see what happens in a minute or two. But JMR somehow knows what he's doing though. He knows what he's doing. He's got Chris Allen, of course, Future Avenger ahead. The flashing, JMR's flashing the light saying, right mate, out you get. Not even close enough yet, so he's going to have to probably flash his lights again very soon. But Lemos is still, that gap's grown again, but maybe that's because JMR's eking out that advantage slowly but surely, going into what will be 45 minutes to go in this race. It seems like that, you know, Lemos is coming through the final turn, but Future Revenge gets out of JMR's way, so nicely done. But could be very interesting. EW still there, and of course, 4th place at the moment. Skyfu in the Bentley, still down in 3rd. He's done quite well so far. But you can see how close it's going to get, but who knows what's going to happen. But Lemos has now got to contend with these two lap cars ahead of him. He's probably thinking lap cars after lap. It's a bit unfortunate, but fair play to Future Revenge for getting out the way, but he's got to be careful. He's not battling Lemos, but you can just see how well that's going to go. Chris Allen's the next lap target, but GLGD Sport then into pit lane for his mandatory pit stop. Maybe he's realised now's the time to go for it. Might have been underfueled, overfueled, you name it. But obviously you can't take fuel out of the car. But you can by racing extremely aggressively. But that's allowed Lemos to... Now Lemos has got past Chris Allen, but that's still dropped him quite a bit behind JMR at the moment, with the likes of Skyfu still there. EW still there in 4th, Stansland 5th. Steve's trying to catch him up, with Hells in 7th. GLGD Sport is around now 9th as Jarrett Jr. comes out, but he's got to be careful as GLGD Sport, because he's now coming out between Chris Allen and of course Future Revenge. But Future Revenge doesn't realise he's actually come out of pit lane. He might have done actually, but that probably put GLGD Sport down in 10th. Yes it has, but GLGD Sport has now got to get past Future Revenge. Lemos is now 4.056 of a second from of course JMR. JMR literally pushing on for what could be another victory of the season. I do apologise, I've got an itchy nose and my eyes are watering at the moment, but try to crack on as best as we can. We've got Lemos trying to push on. Skyfu currently going to be putting a lap on his teammate, I believe. They're just in different machines, but because they're both the same paint scheme. So the Bentley versus the Ferrari, it looks like that's now going to hamper... Oof, I thought they were going to take each other out then. That's now going to hamper GD Sport to try and get up to Future Revenge. But we'll see what happens. But oh, GD Sport, perfect move into the final corner, almost loses it though. A perfect move on Future Revenge, but Future Revenge is coming back thick and strong. That Bentley Continental, it's absolutely insane. These battles tonight, you know, I can't believe how well tonight is actually gone so far, so good. You know, I don't want to put even more commentators curse on. I don't even put it even on myself, but you see Future Revenge there trying to literally catch up to GDGL Sport, or GLGD Sport rather. But you can see that the Ferrari's trying to get away from that Bentley. It's almost like a few seasons ago with Stefano Marchetto, so, you know. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But who knows? With 14 minutes, coming up to 14 minutes, JMR still leading the race then. Thought Lemos had gone off. It kind of felt like it with the way he was going through that the camera angle was looking like he was going off, but yeah, it's going to be absolutely interesting to see what's going to happen. JMR still literally still leading from Lemos at the moment, but 40 minutes to go then, 40 minutes to go in this race. I'll tell you what, we are in for... But this is going to be close. Lemos is still second at the moment. He's second on the road. Skyfu currently third. EW still fourth after that spin. He's made his way back up to fourth now. That's probably a good drive from EW at the moment. Then you got Stansland, then you got Steve. Steve's doing a very good race on his debut at the moment. Followed by Hells. Hells is currently there. Joe Rick Jr. still in 8th, then GLGD Sport currently 9th. Yes, he's still 9th with Future Revenge still in 10th at the moment. Still chasing after trying to still chase after GLGD Sport, but who knows what's going to happen with Rigo in 11th, Chris Allen in, of course, 12th. DC Joe currently getting a lap down by Skyfu at the moment with DC Joe there, but Hells goes into pit lane then, so first of McLaren's in with around 38, just under 39 minutes left, but hopefully no more commentators cursed now. If I do that, then I'll be screaming. But Hells is currently still there at the minute then, so we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But he's still there. So it looks like JMR then, at the moment, just looking at where he is on track, he's coming through, I think he's coming through turn number 4, maybe turn number 5. Yeah, it's 4 and 5. He's still leading from, of course, Lemos. Lemos is trying to push on, you can just see JMR there. Hells is coming out of pit lane. Bit of battle scars on the Bentley just there, but 38 minutes to go then, so not far away now. But seems like a long pit lane, I'll tell you this, for next to nothing here at Misano. But it seems that Hells has got in front, or is he a lap down? He might be a lap down actually, because Stansland is 5th. But it's hard to tell because the graphic hasn't updated. We're halfway through the race then. So halfway mark then, so 37 minutes to go. We're still now at the halfway point. But looks like Stansland, yes, Stansland's put a lap on Hells, but Lemos is still trying to catch up to JMR at the moment. JMR's literally pushing on as best as he can. Skyfu's still there in 3rd at the moment, EW in 4th. Stansland actually catching him up at great speed and knots. Could be very interesting with 37 minutes left then. But what's going to happen then? Stansland currently pushing on as best as he can. Needs to try and catch up to EW, but is he going to be able to do it? I'm not too sure, but Lemos is currently still trying to catch up to JMR. JMR literally trying to push away from Lemos at the moment, it seems, but JMR's got that Ferrari dialed up as very quickly as he can, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen between these top 4 in a bit, because if you have a look at this, Skyfu is there, then where's EW? Not even near Skyfu as of yet. Well, that just tells you something. Skyfu is there in 3rd. Excuse me. But you know, Lemos is still trying to excuse me, trying to catch up to, of course, JMR at the moment, but Skyfu is literally on the quicker than of course EW at the moment, because that's actually GLGD Sport and the Ferrari. I thought it was the Bentley, but it's not. So many cars with so many same colours, you think it's the same car, but no, it's not. But who knows what's going to happen with around 35 minutes to go then. As EW actually dives into pit lane then. Probably about time to go in. That's going to be allowing Stansland to get back into 4th then. So he knows that EW's pulled into pit lane. But you can see with around just under 35 minutes to go on this race, it seems that it could change battles again. You never know. But you can see exactly what it's going to mean for Stansland, because he's going to get there. Steve's going to... I think Steve's actually up to 5th, so... very interesting indeed. But JMR then, still... Sorry about that, guys. Trying not to cough down everyone's ear, so I'll put my headset on mute for a minute. So yeah, JMR literally still leading the race then, from of course Lemos. 34 minutes to go. So Lemos is going to try and catch him. JMR literally there. Skyfu still in, of course, third at the moment. He's done very well so far. He's actually... But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. But Lemos goes into pit lane then, just looked at that. Lemos has gone into pit lane. So that's going to allow JMR to literally get away and a bit of breathing space between him and the Porsche Lemos. But that might allow Skyfu to get into second, Stansland into pit lane as well. Steve currently there, but he's gone into pit lane, so that's going to be very interesting. It could be a very interesting end to the race. Still got 13 races actually, with 33 minutes to go in this race, so fair play. EW in 7th, and after his spin he's worked his way back up to 4th. JMR's actually going to put a lap on him, so this is probably going to be like, let's see what happens. But we'll soon find out what's going to happen with the likes of Lemos coming out then. Pit lane, Stansland still there. Steve's actually come out of pit lane, so Stansland's got a longer pit stop by the looks of it. Rigo still there. JMR now goes into pit lane then, so that is going to be very interesting. Is he going to... He's got to slow down. He's got to slow down. I was worried he wasn't going to slow down for a minute there, but he's got a comfortable gap between him and Lemos at the moment. But JMR will be wary of Skyfu. Skyfu's probably going to push on for what could be an interesting just under 32 minutes remaining. But is he going to be able to push on? Skyfu's actually, does he inherit the race lead? I believe he might do. JMR still in pit lane. Lemos is trying to think where Lemos will come out of. He's there about, so he's still 3rd. Steve 4th at the moment. Good showing from Steve, so that could be very interesting to see if he can get onto the podium in his first ever race. EW and of course 5th. Stansland still 6th. Joe Rick Jr. in pit lane as well. But at the moment, JMR's coming out of pit lane. Where's Lemos? Lemos is coming through the final corner. Oh, this is going to get tense. This is going to get tense because Lemos now powers his way down start-finish line. As JMR actually is now coming out of pit lane. This is actually going to be a bit of a close call. Or is it actually a close call? Because did I just see a flash of... Yes, I did. This is going to be close. This is actually going to be close now. Because, you know, they've got Skyfu in, of course, to make his mandatory pit stop. Future Adventure's got to do his DC Joe, but they're the only ones that got to do mandatory pit stop. But Lemos, he's got to catch up. Or JMR's got to catch up, I do apologise. It's the other cars that are... It's hard to tell. Is JMR still in 2nd? Because if he is, I'll be thrilled to see. But at the moment, I don't think the graphics updated. Oh, Lemos is actually behind. I do apologise. I thought Lemos had catched him up. The other cars are... Oh, it confused me. Commentator gets it wrong. Well, never mind. It is what it is. But, you know, just under 30 minutes to go in this race then. Of Season 6, round number 6. Here at Misano for the PlayStation 4 lobby. And I'll tell you what a brilliant night of racing. But this is exactly what I like to see. Jeremiah's going to be thinking, I thought Lemos was ahead of me. No, he wasn't. It was actually, believe it or not, DC Joe's Ferrari. That caught me off guard. I thought Lemos had got through, but no. What am I like? But we'll see exactly what's going to happen because we've got 29 minutes left. Tell you what, so far, so good. I do apologise, my voice is slowly but surely now going. It's joys of commentary, isn't it? But Steve at the moment, currently there. Tell you what, fair play to him. He's currently still in 4th on his debut. As Skyfu now goes into pit lane, he probably gets a point for leading the race anyway, so fair point to Skyfu, showing him what he's capable of. That Bentley is there, 28.5 minutes to go in this penultimate round of the championship. If Jeremiah wins this race, it could go down to the wire at Kailami. Who knows what's going to happen between the pair of them. It could be Jeremiah just trying to eke that advantage as best as he can, because he knows for a fact as Skyfu now comes out of pit lane, this could be Skyfu's first victory if he plays his cards right, because Jeremiah's now coming through the final turn onto pit straight. Let's have a look what's going to happen as Jeremiah's just coming through. But, oh, yeah, Jeremiah just gets through. There's a bit of contact between him and Skyfu. Oh, I think Skyfu was trying to come out of pit lane, but Jeremiah knocks him back off track. That's going to be a bit unfortunate. Stewards may want to look at that as well. But obviously Jeremiah's trying to get away from Lemos, but Skyfu's all got Lemos behind him. Skyfu's actually probably on gold tyres, or probably just got fuel in. Not too sure exactly what they've actually got on that car of Skyfu at the moment. But looking like the Skyfu's trying to battle with Lemos at the moment. This could be a thrilling end. 27 minutes to go in this race. But who knows what's going to happen. Jeremiah's probably going to be a bit of hot water with the stewards. It all depends, doesn't it? But looking at Lemos then, trying to get past Skyfu. Lemos is looking very racy towards this latter half of the race, you know. He always seems to look very racy towards the end. I know he's very racy anyway towards the throughout the race, but during the latter half of the race he seems to have the car dialed up a bit. Drive-through penalty for Chris Allen for track limits. That's probably made his night from bad to worse as Hells goes into pit lane. Not too sure why, but Chris Allen then with that drive-through penalty for track limits. It's a bit unfortunate for him. Do apologise for that, ladies and gents. Coughing down everyone's ear, but see what goes on then. As Jeremiah still leads them. But fair play to Jeremiah, he's not giving up. But let's see what happens between now and the end of the race. As I don't know why Hells has gone back into pit lane. Has he had less fuel, or is it something another? But Steve, you know, fair play to Steve. He's currently in 4th. He's got EW behind him, so it's Porsche second, 4th and 5th between Steve and EW. Don't want to knock each other off track. You don't really want to do that in your first evening of Thursday Night Racing League for Steve. Steve's currently still 4th with EW, chasing him right down, but Chris Allen's still with that drive-through penalty for track limits with 2 laps to go. Till that ends up in a bit of a bad night for him. It could be even. There's not Lemos, EW gets a bit crossed up again. Steve's got a bit wide, but I think he was a bit caught off guard with EW losing a back end, but back end of that 38 Porsche, maybe he's thought, oh, a bit too soon, but fair play, he's still 5th in the race standings at the moment, so that's brilliant to see. But poor Chris Allen with that drive-through penalty for track limits, he's obviously thinking, what have I got to do? What have I got to do to catch a break? So Future Revenge goes off, he knocks the cones. It's not going to help him with his Hells goes back into pit lane, not too sure why. DC Joe into pit lane as well. Lemos is still trying to catch up to JMR. Where is JMR? Yes, JMR is there, still leading the race. But very interesting night of racing for season 6. The penultimate race of the season as well. Anything can happen. But so far, JMR leading the race then. Like Chris Allen going through. He's got one more lap to go before he takes his drive through. He's probably staying out. He's probably not aware that he's got his drive through. He probably is aware of it, but he's probably radioing onto the team saying, why me, what have we done tonight, you know. Hopefully in Kyle Army he will do very well, but DC Joe and Hells is still in pit lane. Not too sure why though, because he just come out of pit lane. But 23 minutes to go in the race then, 23 minutes left. So JMR still leading the race then from, of course, Lemos, with the likes of Skyfu trying to push on. Skyfu's still 3rd at the moment. Maybe, you know, thought Skyfu was actually going to win, actually get back out into the race lead, but obviously he didn't. But nevertheless, he's done a stellar job to get back into 3rd. EW back up into 4th then, with the likes of Steve still trying to push on in 5th place then, with the likes of Stansland in 6th, GLGD Sport in 7th, Joe Rick Jr. in 8th. Oh, we've lost someone by the looks of it. Who have we lost? I believe we have lost. I'm trying to figure out who we've lost. I think we've lost. I think we've lost the McLaren. Yes, we've lost the McLaren somehow. The McLaren of trying to figure out who it was. Yeah. McLaren, I think it was Hells. Yeah, Hells is missing from the race at the moment as Chris Allen goes in for his drive-through. About time, because otherwise he would have been actually disqualified. He would have been black flagged for that. But he's now gone into pit lane for his drive-through penalty. Probably, as I say, not had the best of nights tonight as well. So JMR then still leading with just under 22 minutes to go, or 21 and a half now to go. So we're there around, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But who knows, with Lemos trying to catch him back up, I think, as Chris Allen's drive-through penalty has now cleared, which puts him still in 10th place at the moment, with the likes of Future Revenge yet to do his mandatory pit stop, unless he has done it, and it is a glitch, but it can happen. We'll see exactly how well that's going to go towards the end, but let's jump back onto excuse me, with 20 minutes to go in this race then. JMR still leads from, of course, Lemos at the moment. Lemos trying to push on, trying to get up to JMR. Maybe they might take this to the last lap. They normally do, because they took it to the last lap at Imola last time out. As my right eye keeps watering. But trying to push on as best as he can is Lemos. He knows for a fact what he's got to do to try and get back into that race lead. Excuse me, 20 minutes to go. Skyfu currently in third then, with EW currently always off again. And of course fourth, Steve currently in fifth place on his debut. Fair play, he's done very well so far, so good. He's got good pace as well, so hopefully he will race at the final round at Kyalami. But it looks like Stansland currently in, of course, 6th GL GD Sport, 7th Jarrett Jr., and of course 8th, yep, Future Revenge still there, 9th at the moment. Chris Allen 10th, with Rigo in, of course, 11th at the moment. Fair play to him. And then DC Joe, unfortunately, 4 laps down, or 3 laps down actually. It's obviously confused to living. No, it's 3 laps. Yes, it is right. 3 laps down. No, it's 4. It got up again. It's confusing me when it does this. But we'll soon find out. But Jeremiah then still trying to get away from Lemos. You can see Lemos here at the moment, trying to, not Lemos, Jeremiah rather. Lemos is there, that's what I should say, but Lemos is there trying to catch up to Jeremiah. I think, if, like I said, these two probably will take it down to the wire in this race. We don't really want any issues between the pair of them, but to see what will happen. But it's a bit of a lonely race for these guys now. Quite a few gaps. Excuse me. But soon figure out with 18, just coming up to 18 minutes to go in this race. It is a bit of a weird one. He's Lemos at the moment. He's trying to push on to get up to Jeremiah, but who knows what's going to happen. But Lemos is still holding on to try and get up into the race lead again. Skyfu currently in third, EW in fourth, Steve still there in, of course, fifth place at the moment. Stansland trying to push on. Not too sure what is blue flags for them guys, because they're not a lap down with the likes of GLGD Sport still in seventh at the seventh at the moment with Jarrett Jr. in eighth. Future Revenge, not too sure if he's actually done his mandatory. He might have done it, but it's probably glitched. But we'll soon figure it out. But Chris Allen in 10th, and Rigo still there, and of course 11th, and then DC Joe in 12th. But JMR is literally trying to get closer and closer and get that gap bigger and better, because he knows for a fact Lemos will try and catch him towards the end. Just under 17 minutes to go in this race then. It is going to be quite an interesting end to this race here at Misano. Is this going to be spicing up the title going into Kyalami in 2 weeks time? It could be, you never know. There's a car off somewhere. 38, was that 38? Yes it was. EW's gone off again. That's now going to be a bit of a task. He's now currently in what will be 5th place, because Steve's got past him. So that's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Yes, Steve up into 4th then. Was 5th, but he's now up into 4th. Because EW's going to try and catch him. Is EW struggling yet again in that 38 Porsche? It's hard to tell, but soon find out what's going on. But Lemos then, car between him and Jeremiah at the moment. DC Joe's got to be careful not to get involved, but could be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. 15.5 minutes to go in the last couple of minutes then. But we can see exactly what's going to happen with the likes of Jeremiah still trying to push on with the likes of GLGD Sport. He's now going to be a lap down. But you can just see Jeremiah pushing on. He's got 15 minutes to go. He knows for a fact It's a long stint. It's a long stint, this 15 minutes, but soon could be easily put under pressure with the likes of, excuse me, GLGD Sport. Try to push on. But 15 minutes to go then. Is Jeremiah going to be hounded by this guy, Lemos? Gap's come down a bit. It's come down to around... What's the gap at the minute? Let's have a look. .8 of a second, yes, it's 1.8 of a second between Jeremiah and Lemos at the moment. It could be very interesting. Lemos, he's literally trying to push up to Jeremiah. Jeremiah's literally got to be careful now, because he knows what to do, but he's got to be very careful, because EW rather, Steve's been overtaken by EW. Missed that while we're looking at what was happening between Lemos and Jeremiah. But 14 minutes to go then. Could be anyone's guess, but got the likes of Lemos still trying to catch up to Jeremiah for the race win. Chris Allen back into pit lane. He's had a torrid time tonight by the looks of it. It looked like he'd gone off track, but it looks like he's had a bit. But he's had a bit of a torrid time as Chris Allen this evening. So hopefully he's back for Kyle Army. Got Lemos then trying to chase after JMR. You know, we're going to have to try and focus on this, because these two have literally pushed on. It looks like, though, to me, that Chris Allen has actually retired. Looks like Chris Allen's actually retired from the race. It's a bit unfortunate, because he's now not shown on the timing. He's not shown on the race results at the moment. He's currently 11th. He was 10th. He's now DNF. So a bit of a shame really for Chris Allen. He was doing so well this evening. Then obviously a bit of damage, and then obviously a drive through for track limits, and now probably even more damage. And it's made him. Excuse me. Made him retire from tonight's race, which is a big shame really, because he could have easily pushed on for the top 10. But you never know, something might have cropped up, but who knows. With 12 minutes to go then, is Lemos going to catch up to Jeremiah? This is exactly what I think is going to happen. You can just see how close it's going to get between the likes of Jeremiah and of course Lemos. Lemos is trying to push on, but Jeremiah then is still there. We've got EW still 4th, Skyfu still 3rd at the moment. Could have been Skyfu's first victory. Steve in 5th then, Stansland 6th, GLGD Sport of course in 7th, Jorick Jr. 8th, Future Revenge still there. I'm not too sure whether it's just a glitch, but he's still got to make his Monday 3 pit stop. Rigo in of course 10th at the moment. Now of course DC Joe 11th, so you know, poor old Hells and of course Chris Allen will score no points this evening for not finishing. But Lemos is actually on course to try and take the fight to Jeremiah in the last 11 minutes or so. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But we'll see exactly how close that's going to be. But you can just see Lemos trying to hold on, trying to literally climb further and further in towards the last 10 minutes of the race. Then we'll see exactly how close that's going to get. JMR still pushing on, but You see that EW and Skyfu are still third and fourth respectively. Steve's still fifth at the moment, but Lemos then. Let's have a look what Lemos is doing. Is he going to get past Jeremiah before the end of the race? It's 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes. This is where it's going to get tooth and nail between the pair of them now, because this is what is going to happen. Lemos is probably thinking, right, let's have a look what's going to happen. So on board with Lemos. He needs to win this race to try and stop Jeremiah from taking the title at Kyle Army. That's what I think is going to happen, but Jeremiah knows what he's doing. Future Revenge still there, and of course 9th place at the moment. EW still in 4th, but the gap's come down between these two, the pair of them. These two had a sensational battle at the end of last time out 2 weeks ago, so it could be another interesting battle between the pair of them. Let's see what's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows exactly what's going to happen? Because, you know, JMR may hold on, but Lemos is still trying to push on for what could be a bit of a battle between him and Jeremiah. Jeremiah's trying to literally get away from Lemos, but I'm not too sure how Jeremiah's heart rate's feeling. Maybe we need heart rate monitors for going into the final round at Kyle Army. It'd be a fantastic thing to see, but you never know. But Jeremiah clips the curb, clips that sausage curb. That's what he doesn't want, with around 8 minutes to go, because that's now going to allow Lemos to get closer and closer. This is going to be unreal between the pair of them. Go on board with Lemos then. This is where it could be all or nothing between the pair of them. Let's have a look what's going on here between Lemos and Jeremiah, the title protagonists for Season 6. They're also title protagonists for Season 5. This could be very interesting to see exactly what's going to go on. Jeremiah on board with Lemos, still trying to chase after Jeremiah. I'm not going to focus on further back as of yet, but you see Lemos literally trying to catch up to that Ferrari, the number 55 Ferrari that is. James has driven absolutely stellar well tonight, but you know, he's got to be careful in the last couple of minutes. 7 minutes to go in a minute. This is where the 7 minutes will count for Jeremiah. Jeremiah literally has got to push on to get away from Lemos, but Lemos isn't going to give up as of yet. It's got 7 minutes to go though. Anything can happen in these 7 minutes. Let's see exactly what's going to happen. Lemos is literally on the back, almost on the back bumper of that Ferrari. You can see Jeremiah literally nose to tail, but it's under 7 minutes to go. Jeremiah literally knows what to do. Try not to go over them curbs now and hit the sausage curbs. But I tell you what, we're still on board with Lemos. This is exactly what's going to happen. Jeremiah literally knows what he's got to do to try and get this race win. I think it's his 3rd race win of the season as well. It might be even his 2nd, I can't remember exactly. But looking back from that Ferrari, looking at the Porsche, that Porsche is looming very angry in the back of that Ferrari's mirror. But we'll soon find out exactly what's going to happen. But you can just see the nose to tails. Lemos actually gets really close. He's actually getting really close to Jeremiah now, right as we speak. Could be a very tense battle with 6 minutes to go. I told you this could come down to the wire between these two. These two came down to the wire at Imola. This could be very interesting. Is Jeremiah going to hold off Lemos for the win? But it's going to be close between the pair of them. Coming into the last half of the lap, still on board with Lemos. Could be very careful to see what's going to happen, but Lemos is literally nose to tail at the moment, trying to get past Jeremiah. Jeremiah knows what he's got to do to win, but he also knows what to do to try and defend like a mad to get away from that Porsche. But he needs to realise maybe the tyres are starting to wear a bit now. Maybe it's getting a bit tiresome. Maybe fatigue a bit playing into the lights. of these two drivers here, but I tell you what, fair play, Lemos isn't going to give up. I think he's going to try and push on as best as he can to get up to that Ferrari. You can just see on this camera here what's going to happen, but I tell you what, fair play, we're going back on board with Lemos. This is exactly what we need to do between the pair of them. But see what, JMR knows he's got 5 minutes left on the clock to try and hold off Lemos for a well-deserved victory this evening. Got a lap car ahead of him, that is Future Revenge, but JMR's not going to be too bothered. He might even be hampered by the Bentley Continental GT ahead of him, but soon find out as we go. Still on board with Lemos, trying to get past JMR, what could be a very enthralling 4 minutes left of the race as we get into the nitty-gritty part of the race. Who knows, the Future Avenger goes out the way with JMR, but is he going to hold up Lemos? Oh, he's held up Lemos a bit, but Lemos has got to be careful. Yes, he's held up Lemos as Future Revenge actually goes into pit lane to take his mandatory pit stop with 4 minutes to go. That is delayed Lemos. He's not going to like that, but that is exactly what Lemos couldn't afford to have lap traffic with 4 minutes to go. Jeremiah's probably laughing in that, looking at that glass panel that's in his next to his dashboard, saying, Lemos has got caught up by a car going into pit lane. But back on board with Lemos. Is he going to be able to catch up to Jeremiah with 3 minutes to go? It's hard to tell at the moment. It's hard to tell. It is hard to tell, ladies and gents. But I'll tell you what, it is going to be looking at a very excuse me, very feisty indeed towards the end of this race. Still 3 minutes, well, 3 minutes 22 on the clock, but who knows what's going to happen. We'll soon find out. But there is a lot to take in between now and then. But you can just see Lemos trying to catch up to Jeremiah. Is he going to try and catch him up? Going at great speed or not? Skyfu still there in, of course, third. EW in fourth. Steve in fifth. With Stansland. Oh, Stansland's got a move on Steve to try and get him back into, of course, took Steve into sixth place, but Steve's not giving up as of yet. Try and join back with this battle. With also trying to push on as best we can. 2.5 minutes to go. See if we can try and catch up to. We'll try and see this battle further back in a minute, but you know, JMR has got to try and he's pushed away quite a bit now from Lemos. I think he has. I think he's now realised, or Lemos has now realised, well, I've got to now leave it to the last minute now. Steve and Stansland have a bit of a battle for 5th and 6th at the moment. You know, fair play to Steve, still 6th in his first race, but the Porsche is still raging to get past the 444 Ferrari at the moment, but it's getting very close with just under 2 minutes to go in this race. So it's almost like a very interesting Porsche versus Ferrari battle for even 5th and 6th, even first and second. I'll tell you what, we'll see what's happening. Is the gap come down? Oh, it's come down a bit. It's come down a bit between Lemos and, of course, Jeremiah. Jeremiah literally still eking out a bit of that advantage, but is that going to allow Lemos to catch him back up? Lemos has got to be very careful, especially trying to catch up to Jeremiah, because we know what Jeremiah's like. He's feisty in the last couple of minutes. Well, you know, it's going to be very close between first and second. I'll try and see what's happening between Steve and Stansland at the moment. That's obviously going to be thereabouts. There's a white flag for a slow car somewhere. But obviously with a minute to go then, a minute to go, is Lemos going to catch, excuse me, is Lemos going to catch up, should I say, up to Jeremiah, or is Jeremiah going to get away and get this victory and take this title fight down to Kyle Army? If you're watching the stream, guys, please do give it a massive thumbs up. It will help me, it will help the guys massively. But I'll tell you what, it's been a great battle between these two so far, but Lemos has got to push on. He's got to push. He knows Jeremiah's going to escape with this race win if he's not careful. these two are going to be nose to tail, and they're probably going to be nose to tail going into Kyle Army. But who knows what's going to happen? I'm a bit concerned. I can't watch. I can't watch this. It's too tense. But I'm going to have to. Look at Jeremiah though. There's still got a bit of time. There's still got a bit of corners to go. But look at this. Look at this. Jeremiah is going to be pushing on. But I'll tell you what, is Lemos going to catch him? Is Lemos going to catch him? He's only got a couple of more turns to go. He's only got 3 turns to go by the looks of it. Could be 3, maybe 4 turns to go. But I'll tell you what, he's not giving up. He is not giving up. He's not giving up. He is not going to give up. Is he going to get the move done into the final 2 turns? Or is Jeremiah going to eke out that advantage just a bit too quicker? But Jeremiah gets the corner done. Absolutely fantastic. Great battle between the pair of them. I'll tell you what, fair play. And Lemos, what a battle to take it to second. It's going to take it down to the wire. Kyle Army, I think it's going to. But I tell you what, fair play to Skyfu coming home in 3rd. He might not be happy with Jeremiah knocking him off track when trying to come back out of pit lane. But I tell you what, there has been some fantastic racing. And I tell you what, track limits to DC Joe, but that's not going to matter because the race is ended. But I tell you what, fair play to Skyfu on the podium. Yeah, again, I think he got podium at Imola. But I'll tell you what, shout out to EW, and I'll tell you what, stop and go penalty for speeding pit lane for future revenge. It's not going to count because the race is finished. But EW, after that spin, to come home back in 4th, fair play to him. He'll be kicking himself with that. I don't think he'll like me for putting the commentator's curse on him. But I'll tell you what, fair play to Stansland. Coming home in 5th place, that is an absolute good result for the Ferrari driver. And I'll tell you what, he will be delighted with that. But also, shout out to Steve in 6th place, followed by GDL Sport in 7th, Joe Rich Jr. and of course 8th place at the moment. And then of course Future Revenge in pit lane. I don't think he's going to be completing the race. Rigo in of course 10th, fair play, what a result. And of course DC Joe in of course 11th. But I don't think Future Revenge will be going out of pit lane with JMR, who's done an absolute sensational battle of racing tonight. He will be taking that title and trying to put one hand on the trophy, going to Kyle Army. Oh my days, what have we seen tonight? What have we seen? It's absolutely unreal. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen at Kyle Army. Unfortunately, my voice is going to go, so I don't think I'm going to be doing driver interviews tonight. But I'll tell you what, if you have watched the stream, please do give it a massive thumbs up. I will see you in 2 weeks' time when we go to Kyle Army. Who is going to win the title? Who is going to get the hand on that trophy? Who's going to spray the champagne? Find out in 2 weeks' time, because I'm going to go because my voice feels like it's going to disappear. But I've been Hoppers Thursday Night Racing League. Take care. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we head to Kyle Army for the final round of Season 6. It is going to be absolutely unreal. Until then, guys, ta-ra.